I've been really touched with the level of concern and the many comments and private messages and emails that I've received over the last week or so, expressing your concern about the horrific, devastating wildfires that have just gone through the city of Fort McMurray. My family and I are safe, and those in my family that were in Fort McMurray were safely evacuated and now temporarily living with us. I was really touched with your concern and absolutely greatly appreciate it. And many of you have noticed I've not been really active on social media since this emergency began. And it's mostly to do with the fact that at my work, part of my work is to help safely evacuate people from emergency zones. And from the day that this incident began until yesterday, I was working on the emergency component of that and making sure that we had people in the field so that the evacuees could safely get out of harm's way. And I'm really proud to say that until now, we've had no reported deaths, and that's got to be 90,000 people that were evacuated with literally moments notice. So I think I would like to thank all of the people that helped and responded to the call when I put it out and put themselves out there with nothing more than me at the other end of a phone to help all of those people get out safely. That's absolutely, it's restored my faith in humanity. I have to say, just what people have done, they've gone well out of their way to make sure that perfect strangers were fine and perfect strangers were dealt with before their own needs and wants. It just, the level of kindness I've seen this week far surpassed anything that I expected when this all began, and that extends to you guys. My brother was really kind enough to step in and put out a video this week so that you guys would at least get a little bit of an update while I was busy working. And many of you have been so kind. With the emergency phase of this horrific natural disaster behind me, I've really neglected my comment section and Facebook posts, and I will make a concerted effort to get caught up, but I've got some work to do in the garden before I can sit at the computer. And to start with, I've got to get to hardening off. So I'm going to give you guys a quick tip on how I harden off my my plants. Every spring as the weather warms, I start by planting out my cold hardy crops in March and continue to plant directly into the garden all the way through the season. Some crops, however, like my tomatoes and peppers, benefit from a head start in the grow room. And as the weather warms, it's time to bring my warm weather crops out for the season. This is, however, a little bit more of a process to follow than just taking your plants outside. This process is called hardening off. I start hardening off my plants when nighttime temperatures no longer drop below 5 degrees Celsius or 41 Fahrenheit. I bring them in at night if the temperatures are expected to drop below that. You will want to find the shadiest location in your yard and put the plants there. The sun outside is much stronger, even on the cloudiest of days, than any grow lights or your south-facing window. Over the next few weeks, I'll slowly move them out into the yard, gradually increasing the amount of direct sunlight each plant gets. This process usually takes me between 2 and 3 weeks. After they have been acclimated to the sun, you can plant them in your garden as long as the last frost has passed. It is important to water lots, as these plants will need more water now that they're outside, and it helps reduce the stress on the plants. So we've been lucky enough to have an unexpected visit with my aunt and uncle and their 3 boys whom live in Fort McMurray and were evacuated, and they brought this little guy. This is Yoda, and under here is Chewbacca, who's hiding from the wind, and they're helping me deal with my dandelion problem. Before this all began, my son and I actually planted some carrots in a pot over winter. We were at the greenhouse for some reason, and he really wanted some carrot seeds. So of course I can't say no to that. So we brought these carrot seeds, and he came home and he wanted to plant them, and it was February at the time, so it was a little cold in the garden. So I got a pot out and I planted some in this pot with him, and he checked them every day to make sure that we could eat them. And for some reason they got pushed to the back, and as I was moving things out to harden them, I found these carrots and they had grown. So we pulled one. turns out these carrots did fantastic under just my regular grow lights, and my son was able to harvest his first carrots in April, and he just mowed them all down and left the little tops like a little bunny rabbit out on the driveway where these plants were hardening off. He just really enjoyed them. So that's our harvest for this time of year, is some carrots. I responded as part of my work to the Fort McMurray fires, and as part of that I got to see the devastation that these fires have caused to families whom in many cases left with the shirt on their back, the family in their vehicles, often running out of fuel and jumping in with perfect strangers to get out of harm's way, and having really nothing, having lost their homes, their vehicles, their possessions, and all of a sudden displaced to cities that have been more than kind and welcoming to them. But a large part of that is the fact that now they need to start again. And I'm very proud that the Red Cross has taken up this cause with all of their might, and the provincial and federal governments have matched donations to that. So if you're in a place where you can donate, I know many of you have that overwhelming urge to help. This is a way that you can help. Those donations to the Red Cross, every dollar you give is $3 to the Red Cross, and they are doing some fantastic work helping to get 90,000 plus people reestablished. And those of you who have donated already, from the bottom of my heart and my family's love, thank you. I really appreciate it. It means more than you'll ever know. And anyways, starting on Friday, I'll be back to my regular schedule. And I really appreciate your patience and your kind showing of support. It means a lot to me. Until next time, I hope you have a great and safe day.